Have you ever really imagined learning in a way that just completely breaks free from textbooks, classrooms? Maybe you've dreamt of something like the holodeck from Star Trek, that amazing room where imagination literally becomes real, a place to learn, explore, experience anything you can think of. Well, what if I told you that a real world version, one designed specifically for education, isn't just science fiction anymore? What if it's actually science fact, launching this fall?
It's absolutely true. This year, fall 2025, EON Reality is launching EON Genesis. And what makes this really revolutionary, I think, is its integration with Google DeepMind's Genie 3 AI. I mean, the stuff we've looked at suggests this isn't just a small step. It really seems poised to fundamentally shift the boundaries between, well, imagination and actual learning.
Right. So our mission today really is to unpack what this educational revolution actually means for you, the learner. We're going to explore how EON Genesis plans to create these experiences that are so immersive they kind of blur the line between digital and real, making learning less about just thinking and more visceral.
Exactly. Think about the kinds of scenarios described. I
Right.
mean, literally walking alongside Caesar, crossing the Rubicon, not just reading about it, but actually experiencing the tension, the history right there.
Yeah.
Or shrinking down, standing inside a beating heart, watching blood cells rush past. It sounds incredible. They're calling it educational teleportation, basically. Instantly putting learners into, well, any learning environment you can think of.
And it's more than just seeing, isn't it? It's about feeling. This tech seems to really emphasize emotional impact, visceral engagement, turning abstract knowledge into what they're calling lived experiences.
Oh.
The idea is to forge permanent pathways in your brain through these powerful emotional memories. It's so different from just memorizing facts.
Precisely. Think about the difference. Learning about Rome from a book versus, walking the actual marble streets of the Forum, hearing the roar in the Colosseum, feeling the weight of history around you. It shifts learning from just taking stuff in to being active, emotional, making the past feel real, tangible.
And the potential uses seem huge. We're talking safely messing with volatile chemicals, right? In a space where nothing bad can happen. Or performing complex surgery without any risk to a real person. Even negotiating with world leaders where, failure is just a learning moment, not a disaster. So, okay, this combination, Eon Genesis and Genie 3, sounds unbelievably powerful. What's the secret sauce? How does Eon Genesis take Genie Three's raw world building and turn it into these learning universes?
Well, that's really where the clever integration comes in. Genie 3 itself, it provides this incredible raw ability, right, to make 3D worlds just from text prompts. But EON Genesis, it adds this whole layer of educational smarts on top. This isn't just a general AI world builder. It's specifically built for learning using EON Reality's, 25 years of experience in this field.
Okay, so Genie 3 makes an empty, interactive world. What's the first thing Eon Genesis adds to make it, educational?
Well, a key piece is the AI-powered content population. So EON Genesis, it doesn't just give you an empty scene. It looks at the environment Genie 3 made, looks at your learning goals, and then it smartly puts in relevant stuff. So if Genie 3 makes a historical battlefield, EON and Genesis might add, say, important figures you can interact with or highlight key areas or even create little challenges based on historical facts. It makes sure the world isn't just cool to look at, but actually teaches you something specific.
That makes sense. Okay. And navigation. Genie 3 lets you move around, but how does Eon and Genesis improve that for learning?
It adds a layer they call a mission-based learning framework. So simple exploring turns into structured educational adventures. You have clear goals, you can track your progress. It's subtle, maybe, but really important. You're not just wandering, you're on a guided path with specific things to learn. It takes that raw generated world and embeds real teaching methods into it, turning a blank canvas into a guided lesson, essentially.
So it's making the world smart for education, not just pretty. Which brings us to what the material calls matrix-level capabilities. Sounds dramatic. Things like real-time world genesis, worlds appearing instantly from prompts, running smoothly at 24 frames per second, and persistent memory, so the world remembers what you did.
Yeah, exactly. And that persistent memory is really crucial. It makes the learning feel continuous. You come back and things are as you left them or they've evolved based on your previous actions. It allows for ongoing learning in the same space. But then there's also limitless environmental manipulation. This is where you, the learner, get to actively change your reality within that learning space.
Okay, and now that sounds fascinating. If I'm learning and I say, make this volcano more active, how smart is that response? Does it just show a bigger cartoon eruption? Or does it simulate actual lava flows getting worse scientifically? Or if I say, show me this building 100 years ago, does it get the architecture right?
The material suggests it's remarkably sophisticated. So make this volcano more active. Wouldn't just be a random animation. The idea is the system simulates increased activity, more lava, smoke, seismic readings based on real science. And yeah, show me this building 100 years ago should trigger historically accurate changes. You could even ask it to create a storm system, and you'd see scientifically plausible weather patterns develop and affect the environment. It's about making changes that have believable, consistent effects. Really dynamic.
Wow. Okay. And these dynamic worlds, they need people, right? Or things to interact with. The sources mention AI avatar integration.
Correct. EON Reality already has this suite of, I think, 39 AI agents, and they become the inhabitants of these generated worlds. That's a real game changer. Imagine talking to historical figures who answer your questions intelligently, or scientific concepts personified as characters you can chat with,
Yeah.
or maybe cultural guides taking you through different places, speaking naturally. That's where the learning becomes really interactive, interpersonal.
This really could lead to experiences that change lives, as they put it. Like, think about medical training. Stepping inside a patient's body during surgery, feeling the heart rhythm from inside the chambers, maybe, or experiencing that high-pressure ER decision-making, where every choice has immediate, visible results. It's a level of practical training with zero risk that just wasn't possible before.
Or cultural immersion is way beyond just looking at pictures or even traveling. Imagine actually living in ancient Kyoto during cherry blossom season,
Yeah.
or being in a Renaissance workshop with Leonardo da Vinci, or attending an original Shakespeare play at the Globe Theater. It's about creating that emotional authenticity that builds real understanding, not just, head knowledge.
It even goes into crisis management, facing simulated natural disasters, handling corporate emergencies, leading evacuations, all while feeling that adrenaline, the emotional weight of being in charge. The material calls this an emotional earthquake in education. That's a powerful metaphor, isn't it?
It is, and it brings up a key question. Why does this emotional side matter so much for learning? Well, educational neuroscience, our sources point this out consistently, shows that emotional engagement creates stronger connections in the brain, stronger neural pathways. So EON and Genesis isn't just teaching facts, it's creating what they call emotional anchors.
Mm-hmm.
These are vivid, emotionally charged experiences that your brain directly links to whatever you're learning. It's basically using the brain's natural reaction to powerful experiences to make memories stick instead of just rote learning. They claim it makes learning, 10 times more memorable and infinitely more meaningful because of that emotional connection.
So instead of just memorizing dates for Gettysburg, you could actually find yourself standing there with the soldiers,
Wow.
feeling the tension, the history. Instead of climate change charts, you're literally watching glaciers calving right in front of you. That creates what they call permanently transformative learning through just raw experience.
And this leads to this really exciting idea of the infinite classroom.
Yeah.
With EON Genesis, all the usual limits, physical space, time, resources, they just disappear. Any historical era, any science concept, any culture, any dangerous situation, any impossible place, it's all right there. Instantly accessible, totally safe to explore. The only real limit seems to be your own imagination.
And it creates personal learning universes. So each learner gets their own customized reality, one that adapts to how fast they learn, how well they understand their emotional state, cultural background, interests, even their career goals. That level of tailoring. Wow, that's a vision people have talked about for ages.
Yeah, and the information we have is clear. This isn't some, far-off lab project. Google DeepMind's Genie 3 is moving fast through its research previews. And EON Reality is set to launch EON Genesis this fall 2025. It's intended for actual use right away in universities, professional training, K-12 schools, corporate learning, all over the world.
So, okay, what does this all boil down to for you, the listener? This isn't just about slightly better education. The sources really push this idea of unlocking human potential through experiences that inspire, transform, and just permanently expand what you believe is possible to learn and understand. The Holodeck. It's not just a concept now. It's launching this year as a serious learning tool.
But we've definitely covered how EON Genesis looks like a huge shift, moving away from passive learning towards something really engaging, emotional, visceral, and, transformative. It's about engaging not just your mind, but your soul, as they put it, creating those emotional anchors that make knowledge really stick and actually mean something.
Right, the vision is, well, it's profound. If knowledge is a human right, like EON Reality says, and starting this year it becomes an adventure through this tech, what kind of changes could that unleash? Societally, personally? When learning isn't just available, but deeply experienced and ingrained for everyone, what does it actually mean for human understanding, for progress, when the impossible becomes something anyone can just navigate instantly? It's definitely a powerful thought to leave you with.